I'll say this in a second, but I predicted on air the Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 1.
Oh, good score. At what point did you predict it? Just before the final whistle?
Oh, pre-show.
Wow, good for you.
About 2-3 hours before the game.
Very good. I like that. That's insight and feel.
And guessing. Right, let's go.
Well, welcome to Football So What,
Yes.
in association with Machine Football, your football app for everyday football intelligence, Charlie.
Yes,
so
tell us what Machine Football does, Graeme, just so we know, just going in, people know what that is.
Machine Football is an operating system and a way of looking at the game that is very new, looks at 2,000 teams, over 1 billion touches of the football, 320,000 players, and constantly updates and maps them across lots of different dynamics and metrics. So
feels a lot. There's a lot of people.
There's a lot.
Is it one bloke? Is it one bloke doing all that? Or
it's a lot of machine learning models and,
and
a few blokes
sitting there with a notepad.
It's not quite that sophisticated.
Because he'd be busy. 2 billion touches of the football.
Oh,
Another one there. Another one there for Port Vale. Write that run down, John. Did you see Stockport have just scored, Alan? That's how they'd have done it before.
Exactly. So that's the modern. We've done the modern version of that without the accents, without the regional accents. And what we do is we can really start to see how teams play to a certain style, how they compare with each other. And a great example now is as teams are getting towards the sort of the crunchy end of the season, how they deal with pressure, how their game style changes, which players play better. In Tottenham's sort of case, what another manager change does it really impact the style of football and their cohesion, as we call it? So there's lots of signal and insights that are objective, and then we can add those to the expertise that you bring to that you bring. Exactly. Exactly.
Shall we start at Arsenal? I don't think there's anywhere else to start, is there? This weekend? Arsenal lost 2-1 at home to Bournemouth. I predicted this, Graeme, on TalkSport Saturday morning. We had an Arsenal fan on, Arsenal expert on, and I said, I think you're going to lose today, and I think you're going to lose 2-1. Said that out loud.
Wow, I like that.
Now, here's what I based that on. I don't think Arteta copes with pressure well. Now, how does the machine football AI understand pressure, or can it do that through stats?
Yeah, so basically the example of not dealing well with pressure is the cohesion starts to go in the team. So the form of the players, the form of their relationships start to drop down. And so the cohesion of Arsenal, whilst it's good in certain aspects of their play, because they're still such an organised, sort of process-driven team, as you'd call it, the way they play the game, they control possession. So there's still so much good about Arsenal, but that creativity in the final third of the pitch, whilst it's high, the chances they're getting from it is very low. And they're missing players like Odegaard. So we have a cohesion score for each player. So the impact that player has in linking up the team progressively. So basically passes that are creative passes that create opportunities. So as Martin Odegaard at his best is one of the most.
Yeah, well, Eze when he's fit.
Exactly. But Odegaard, who's out the team, and when he was in the team wasn't in great form, his cohesion score is way above the other players like Havertz and Saka and Eze in the team. So you take him out, you take out a lot of that sort of glue, I would call it, that joins the team together. And that for me it shows not just him being out the team, but even when he was in the team and Eze coming in, who we had so many hopes for, when they come in the team, they're not having an impact. The substitutions that they made against Bournemouth, they've got so much talent, and yet it's not impacting on the performance. And that, I think, is a tightening up of a team, of a manager, but also the atmosphere as well within the stadium is you really feel that as a player. And I've said this:
Arsenal fans, they can't cope with the stress.
No, because there's a I've said this a few times that it's not one season. It's 4 seasons worth of work. And when we won the league at Blackburn, it wasn't just that one season. We'd finished 4th, 2nd, and 1st in those 3 years. And that last half a dozen games, when you feel you've got a lead that is you never feel that it's enough, but you start to get more and more confident that you're nearly there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all that pressure of the 3 years for us and this 4 years for Arsenal is going to be building and building and building. On top of that, Manchester City, they've been there before. You know, they pulled back Liverpool from I think a 9-point lead in April. The only team to have done it in Premier League history. You know, that big a lead at this stage of the season. And they've got a manager and some key players that are embracing and enjoying this chase. And so there's pressure coming from every position for Arsenal. And you see it playing out.
We'll talk Man City in a minute, but they had a much better window, I think, than Arsenal, but much better transfer window. I don't think Arsenal's signings have particularly stepped up to it. Gyökeres, I can't think how many goals he scored. I think he scored about 12, 13.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Right. But he never seems to be that talisman figure.
Yeah, and again,
I think if you're under pressure and your striker is scoring week in, week out, then that relieves the pressure, doesn't it? But there's no one quite to get the ball to them and relieve the pressure.
Exactly, and that again, that's a great observation and when you look at it in a more of a sort of objective system approach, he's disconnected from his team. He makes decent runs in behind. He's a willing worker. You know, he if you get him in between the sort of width of the penalty area and the goalposts, he'll finish shots. He's a proven goal scorer, but you have to provide certain opportunities for him because he's not mobile. He's not going to create something really for himself. And you just again look at the Bournemouth game. His relationship with Havertz was almost non-existent. One other thing about Arsenal: 37% of their goals come from set pieces or penalties. You know, so that's over a third of their goals. Their mindset, I think, is those opportunities mean more to them. And I feel sometimes they're almost satisfied if they get a set piece.
They go mad if they get a corner, don't they? They're like,
rather than trying to open
do you think
teams
Arteta's
up.
been watching too many 80s football documentaries? Did you see him quoting John Sitton in the week?
No.
Bring your mates and bring your dinner. He was quoting that at one.
Wow.
I don't know if he knew he was quoting that. And for any young people watching or listening to us, do go and find that John Sitton clip. I mean, that's the bit that we can say, bring your mates and bring your dinner. There's another bit, you big, and you.
Yeah.
There's all that. It's a brilliant speech. But he quoted that, and then he went, "Well, I feel like I've been punched in the face," and I was like, "Well, this is such a
throwback manager presser."
Arteta's started. If we heard him with like a Yorkshire accent, we'd probably go, "This bloke don't know what he's on about." Just wanging it in the box, and then he got punched in the face and telling people to bring their dinner. It's because he looks good in a stretchy pair of trousers.
Yeah, he does.
Those trousers are going to split at some point.
As the pressure builds.
What do you think the Lycra element of those trousers is, Graham?
I think it's got to be in the high 30s. It's got to be a high 30s.
High 30s, you think?
Do you think higher?
They're like a dance trouser, you think? I was just thinking 10% Lycra.
Really? We'll have to ask him.
This is what we need. Does machine football do that?
It could do. We can repurpose it and find out the Lycra contact. Yeah, exactly.
But so if you've got a player like that doesn't create anything for themselves, then you are relying on Odegaard to come in or Eze or someone to play those passes through.
Yeah, and also what it does, it puts the rest of the team defensively under pressure, because if you're not scoring reliably, and it doesn't have to be just Gyökeres, you know, you can share the goals around. Man City have shared the goals around for many seasons and been obviously incredibly successful. But if you've got somebody who is a designated goal scorer, and he is, then it relieves so much pressure, because him being consistent and reliable in front of goal just gives the team a cushion. And I felt that if Bournemouth scored that first goal, it was always going to feel like a sort of quite a long way back for Arsenal. And it looked like
here we go again.
Yeah, they didn't have the belief that they could easily get back into the game and suddenly go up a gear. And that again is the pressure, and where you're relying on individuals. I mean, again, don't want to hark on too much about my Blackburn days, but it's comparable, because Alan Shearer was a guy who would get us out of jail in games that were challenging. And we, as you know, fullbacks and wingers, our job was, when we're in certain positions of the pitch, was all about delivery. And it's not old-fashioned. it
No.
was a way we knew how to get the best out of each player,
Yeah.
and whether it was Mike Newell or Chris Sutton, they worked so well with Alan, and the job was to get Alan in front of goal. And you knew, honestly, there were times when I played in that Blackburn team when Alan got the ball on the edge of the penalty area, I was on the halfway line, and I'd almost turn my back on play and start walking back to my position because I knew he was going to score. He was so relentlessly ruthless.
Yeah.
And again, look, the game's evolved. Players getting space, scoring that amount of goals is harder. I mean, I think Haaland at his best, you sort of go, he's going to score from there. But Arsenal needs somebody within that group or a couple of players to sort of liberate them, because if they carry on, it's going to get worse and worse as we get towards the end of the season. And they've got obviously challenging games ahead.
Miles Lewis-Skelly was back at the weekend in your position, Graeme. Do you think he did himself any favours? Did he do a good job?
I think, given he hasn't played for so long, and again, you've got the context of the game, I think he did okay. I think he's trying to find his role, not just in that team, but as positionally, because obviously he's encouraged to go into midfield. And I don't think when a player's developing, I think it's hard for them to understand two positions. I think you've got to establish yourself. He needs to establish himself, I think, as a left fullback, and establish himself there, and then he can start to adapt to a different way of playing. But otherwise, I think he's going to drift. I think he's going to drift around. And why is Hincapié and Calafiori, why are they picked ahead of him? Because they're more consistent defensively. They're more solid defensively. They've obviously got an aerial threat. But I think they're just more reliable fullbacks than he is, even though they do occasionally step into midfield. So look, I think Arsenal they've got big training weeks ahead of them. Obviously they've got Sporting this week, so they're not going to have a lot of training. But why I say that is because
now it's like, what do you concentrate on now? So, Graeme, if you're in training now, what is Arteta saying? What is he concentrating on? Because all of a sudden they look like they might lose all four.
Yeah, and they can't. They've just got to look at, without going cliche, they've got to look at what's ahead of them. So it's not about the competition they're in. It's not about playing Sporting or playing Man City next weekend. It's about how you prepare for the next game, how you win the next game, how you get that energy and that momentum back to establishing a tight defence, playing with a bit more freedom, getting back to those basics that got them in the position they're in. They've lost all of that high energy belief that they need, because it's compounding at the moment, and everyone's, as you say, everyone's on edge. Everybody's scrutinising them to a level rarely seen, I think, because
it's quite good fun, isn't it? Is the problem.
And again, you've got to.
It's quite funny and good fun that Arsenal are slipping. It's quite funny that the Arsenal fans are struggling with it.
And it's hard for a club to manage. It's hard for a club to manage all the external stuff now because of social media, because everyone's got an opinion. You've got influencers getting involved. You've got all of the stuff going on. It's just this noise. Podcasts. I know,
noise,
having a go at them.
Stats.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, AI's now getting involved. Oh no, Arsenal in the mud.
It's so true. And I want the season to be. I want it to sort of culminate in like really exciting football, and ultimately, I think winning the Premier League is the ultimate sort of meritocracy, in the sense that if you win it, you deserve to win it, even if you're lucky at the end. Or I
think Arsenal fans would take it all day over the Champions League.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the sort of foundation for everything they've been through and what they can do.
If they go
next.
1-0 down, at the Emirates to Sporting Lisbon on is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Then the atmosphere in that stadium is going to stink.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. They've got to. And again, that's another layer of pressure, isn't it? If you go on the pitch going, we've got to score the first goal, lads, and then you concede the first goal, which against Sporting, it can happen.
It's a free hit for them. It's a free hit for Sporting. So they just come out and run at them. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
And they're really unpredictable as a team. They're so exciting going forwards. They're really creative. They defend deep and solid, but they break really quickly. I mean, they gave Arsenal a good run for their money. So I think you're spot on in terms of, I think the first goal is really critical for Arsenal at home during the week.
I know you're avoiding it, but we didn't mention Alex Scott being the Channel Islands' best ever footballer.
Well, he's up against some stiff competition, isn't he? Not in terms of me, but in terms of Matt Letizia.
Well, Alex, it was a hell of a finish, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah,
what do you know about Guernsey's Alex Scott?
Yeah, no,
Graeme, anything at all?
Yeah, there's been a lot of sort of murmurings about him, as a young player developing, and going to Bournemouth, the perfect club for him, I think, as a as a sort of a level for him to really develop in, a manager who has always liked him. I remember speaking to Andoni when Alex first came on the scene, and he mentioned him as a player. I prompted him obviously with the Channel Island connection, and he liked him technically. I think physically there's obviously some development there, but he's one of these players, Alex Scott. And we've mentioned Martin Odegaard. Those unlockers that they see the game so quickly, and they play with such freedom when they're in that form. And his ability to see a pass sort of round the corner in between, the midfield to a striker, way before the ball's even got to him, and he's very hard to press, very hard to win because he moves the ball so quickly. So I think he's the most fouled, or the third most fouled player in the Premier League.
Oh, is he?
This season, because people trying to get near him, and he's always moving the ball off its line. He's a real talent, and I think under Iriola, under that structure, I think the next couple of seasons for him, you could really see him develop. And, you look at him, you look at Wharton at Palace, who's a similar type of player.
What a player, yeah.
You look at someone like Cole Palmer, who I was at the game working on the game yesterday, and, he played in that number 10 position a little bit higher, but he's just not got any rhythm at the moment, Cole Palmer. No, so if you're going to pick it purely on form, then Alex Scott, I think, has a chance of getting in that pre-squad, and actually, I think he's a point of difference. And at international level, those creative players are absolutely critical to a team succeeding. So, good luck to him. As long as he doesn't get as many caps as me, then fine.
Graeme. I think you're being a bit. I think it's a shame that you feel like that. You've got to let other people. You've got to let the young people shine, Graeme. You can't just hold them back.
No, I know. Records are there to be broken, aren't they?
Here's a question for you in machine football: why did Man City find Alex Scott? Why Igor Thiago's the one at the moment? 21 goals this season, 22 goals this season. Brentford seem to have this production line of strikers that they bring through. That then now someone will come and buy him at Christmas for 100 million quid, and then he'll go there and score 4 goals. But so you get teams like Bournemouth and Brentford, these sort of second tier teams in
Brighton
the Premier League that seem to have these production line of players that are coming through. Is that scouting network? Is that what machine football does?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the combination of the two things. And you can't have one without the other. So you've got the scouting, eyes on, finding out about the player, finding out about his background, really understanding the player from an insight and a subjective point of view, and the eyes. And they use really well-purposed, well-targeted data and technology to see how those players, or to get understandings about those players that give them the confidence to make the signing. And so it's a combination of the two things. And look, not the big. Every club is within a certain range is looking for different players. They're not all looking for, or they can't all get an Alex Scott or an Igor Thiago at a point in time. If you look at City, Liverpool, Chelsea, they'll buy in players and have to let them go at some point through the academy. And Mo Salah was at Chelsea, Kevin De Bruyne was at Chelsea. So it's right place, right time, and right opportunity for players. So clubs like Bournemouth have got a brilliant way of keeping that sort of quality of player coming through, whilst knowing that players are going to move on. I mean, their squad was not decimated, but they lost a huge amount of quality in the summer. And then Semenyo as well going. Yeah. And they've managed to sort of replace either within or by developing those players, understanding them, and then coaching them really well to a system. So, there's lots of different ways of succeeding in recruitment. But for those smaller clubs, that definitely gives them an edge over other clubs that should be really performing better and are underperforming.
Can you point 4 players at Torquay United, please. So that if you can use your Machine Football to find the really good players, send them to Torquay United so they're worth a couple of million quid
Exactly.
each in a
We'll
couple
do
of years'
that.
time, and we can sell them on, and then we can just be like back in the league and have great fun.
That's essentially our business model. Is working with teams.
That's what I'm asking you to do for free, Graeme.
Okay.
They're lowly talking. Although we were 4-0 up in 29 minutes on Saturday, so that's exciting.
That's exciting. What was the final score?
It was 5-1 to the Torquay United.
There you go. Very good. But again, it's.
I can't believe you didn't know.
No, sorry, I haven't got them on my app. I need to set a reminder. I'm going to do that.
What kind of friend are you? Maybe we are just colleagues, Graeme.
I think we're beyond colleagues.
Out for the Torquay United score is a red flag, in my opinion. A yellow flag.
A yellow flag, exactly. I will start now. I will absolutely.
I'd like you to do a Torquay United update every week from now on.
You should do it. We'll do a Machine Football Torquay update.
No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to ask you who scored.
Oh, okay. Just something as simple as that.
Well, who scored for the goals at the weekend? Yes,
okay,
it was Gordon Young. He's all left foot.
My internet's not working, so I can't look that up now and cheat, unfortunately.
Well, you can't get the Torquay scores on the internet.
Oh, no, it doesn't work.
They post them to you. They send you them. You have to ring Club Call in the 80s.
Excellent. Are they still on CFAX?
Yeah, exactly. Should we finish with Manchester City? I
think we should. I was working on the game yesterday, and I mean,
Gahey, that finish was like prime Shearer.
Yeah, across the goalkeeper.
Better first than Shearer.
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, he got man of the match, Mark Gahey. I think Gary Neville. I was NBC, so I presume it was Gary Neville was commentating. I think he gave Mark Gahey man of the match. I was Ryan Shirky. He had his shirt on and everything by the time he set that Gahey goal up. And in the context of, again, everything we've spoken about, there's a player there who plays with. He's such a free spirit.
Yeah,
and he showboats a bit too much. So someone's going to rein him in, either an opponent or the manager.
Thomas
a little
Tuchel,
bit,
probably.
Yeah, but it's that Cherky sort of style of play.
Oh, sorry, Cherky.
Cherky. Yeah, his style of play is just everything that Manchester City need. And the reason I mention him in relation to Mark Gahey, because it was him who took the corner. First of all, he was messing around. He pretended to take it and he didn't. And then he went back, took it short to Doku, then ran across the box. And he was looking across the pitch. And it might have been Nunes on the far side. And he was looking at him, and everybody was going across the pitch. And he was looking at him as if he was going to play it. And then he played this pass with the outside of his left foot to Gahey. It was a brilliant ball. But Mark Gahey's first touch was sensational, because he turned in one and then just passed it into the goal.
We're winning the World Cup. We're winning the World Cup.
Well,
we are, Graeme. If we don't win the World Cup with this squad, we are never ever winning it.
Well, Cherky plays for France, so
no, I mean,
they'll be thinking they'll be winning it.
How good
I know
Gahey, our spine is. I mean, Pickford. No, but you go just so good. Just so good. But Liverpool must be looking at the Gahey thinking, why didn't we just spend the extra £5 million?
I know. He would have been. He reads the game so well. He took control of Chelsea in the first half. Offered some threat. They really did, and he dealt with Esteval a few times when they were 1v1, and just anticipated the game. Got himself into some great positions. Made a couple of important blocks as well, and City. This is the difference at the moment between Manchester City and everybody else, is that they played well first half without really creating, amazing chances. And Chelsea looked like they were going to carry a real threat, sort of spontaneous or sporadic threat. Second half, City came out, and it's like they changed 2 gears, and they just absolutely dominated and could have won. Could have won by 4-5.
It was like Pep had worked out what Liam Rossegna was doing.
Yeah, and the players
went, I've worked it out, so we'll do it at half time. Don't worry about it.
And
we sort it out. And
I think each player said to themselves, we've got to give more here. We've got to be more consistent, deliver better quality. And to a man, they did that. Nico O'Reilly again.
Another England player winning the World Cup. Graeme.
Yeah, and you've got. I'm gonna have to keep pushing a buzzer every time you say that, and just give you a sense check. Yeah, reality check.
It's hot. Spain, Argentina. Too much pressure on the players.
I'm going to have to be the voice of reason or the voice of doom. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
but
a bell. You need a bell.
Yeah, but again, I think when you contrast Arsenal to City over recent weeks, so Manchester City have scored 9, I think, and
you can't be ice Graham, when you're the voice of machine.
Was it finished 3-0 yesterday?
You're the voice of machine football.
Was
You've got the stats. You can't be. I think statistician. If these people coming back from the moon, I think you need to. I think we need 3 parachutes coming. I think 4, John. But
I think 4.
Let's just guess.
Give me a second.
How many goals have Manchester City scored, Graham?
They have scored. I'm having a look. Oh no, I can't. Bear with me.
Oh, you can look that up. You can't look at the Torquay score.
I don't have them on my. I don't have them. Yeah, so I was right. I should have backed myself a bit more. So they've scored 9 goals in the last 3 games, and
believe in yourself, Graham,
and conceded 0. And those 3 games were Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal. And so that in itself, if you're a player going in today for training, the level of confidence, whichever position you play on the pitch, you're thinking, we've had a good couple of weeks. We haven't conceded a goal. We're solid. We're reliable. So they're going to trust everything that they're doing this week. Every tip, every coaching insight that Guardiola gives them, every bit of plan.
And they've got a week at it.
They've got a week. And oh my word, I'm up at City Arsenal next week, and I hope that game lives up to its billing, because it's
lucky.
I think it's absolutely defining in the sense that Arsenal have to play. They've got to go and play. They can't play like they played against Bournemouth and manage the game in that way that they have done recently. They've got to let go, and I just think that creates a great spectacle potentially.
Brilliant. We've only got a few minutes, so we should talk about the newest new manager slump for Spurs. Although I did think there were some green shoots for DeZervebi. He obviously had the ball was moving forward for one.
Yeah.
But the balls into the box, Graham, were just embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
I didn't see a lot of the game. But obviously the Sunderland goal was very fortunate, wasn't it? A deflection, but there was a lack of pressure on the ball, and that, so you always are vulnerable when you don't press the ball on the edge of your box. But I just think, definitely they looked like they had a bit more structure. The bits I saw, they had a bit more structure to the way they played, more forward passes. I think he's got to work, as you say, on just trying to, create chances.
I haven't got any players. All the players are out injured.
Yeah, but you've got
injured.
Richarlison played, Solanke played, didn't he? They've got Simmons was on the bench. I mean, you sort of think that
Bergvall, player of their player of the year last year, just looked off it. They all look off it. Yeah. They don't look fit. They
definitely don't look fit.
Well, 3 managers in a season is going to do that.
Yeah, and I think that it really now is down to him giving them some basic information that they can understand and play to, because they haven't got time to try and just get your best players confident enough to lift the team, give them the responsibility to lift the team. And again, it's all down to the sort of how much they want it for each other, the team, the players. Because when they go out there, it's that's going to get them over the line. Yeah, and they might
be thinking, I'm getting out of here. They might be thinking, if we go down, I can get out of here.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then they will go down. They will. They've got they've got tough. Every game for them offers a different problem.
Brighton next weekend, the DeZervebi derby.
Yeah.
And you sort of go, that is a tough game.
Yeah, and playing at home,
they're organised. They know what they're doing. They're fighting for Europe. They're fighting for something. So
absolutely,
it's not like a dead rubber.
And just playing at home for Tottenham is a problem, because that atmosphere is so tense. It's North London at the moment. The tension in North London for both of those teams is off the charts, isn't it? And so they've got Brighton. They've got Wolves, Aston Villa, Leeds, Chelsea away, which Chelsea fans yesterday, that's their penultimate game of the season. And Chelsea fans yesterday were sort of gloating a bit, saying, we think we're going to be the game that puts Tottenham down. So they're quite, looking forward to that in that sense. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then Everton at home in the last game of the season. So
Yeah.
it's really difficult to call, isn't it? Because you look at Leeds, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Spurs.
Well, if Leeds lose, Leeds got a very tough run in, and I think they play everyone. So I think Leeds are the team that get dragged into it.
Yeah,
And that's what Spurs need to rely on. Spurs need a win and a draw from somewhere, and then fingers crossed.
yeah. I mean, and it's funny because you can't. There's nothing to separate the teams in many ways. You sort of think, well, Spurs are on the floor mentally. They've got the best squad, but they're not performing well. West Ham, big win, 4-0 win on Friday, wasn't it? So that's a great marker for them. Forest drew, didn't they? And obviously Leeds tonight. So yeah, it's sort of exciting, but but for all the wrong reasons.
Exciting. I mean, not as exciting as the top of the National League South.
No,
you know,
have you got a chance?
But other than that,
have Torquay got a chance?
Torquay have got 2 games left. Hemel Hempstead at home, Graeme.
Oh, the big one.
And Tonbridge Angels away.
Wow.
But it looks like Worthing have done it. So, you know, Worthing need one more win, and then it's, you know. Yeah. I'm sure you know all that. It's a bit boring for everyone because everyone knows all that.
But yeah, of course, it's front page, back page of all the.
Who goes down, Graeme? Who do you think goes down? Spurs, isn't it? Spurs go down. So
honestly, I think if you base it on spirit and momentum and identity, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think Spurs probably do go down.
Yeah, might be good for them. You never know. They'll enjoy it. I keep saying to my Spurs friends, you'll enjoy it. Well, you'll have a nice time when you're struggling 18th at Christmas. Because I don't think Spurs are a bouncy team. I don't think they're a bounce-backy team.
Well, they've never had to be, have they?
No, so I think it's going to be like a couple of seasons before they bounce back.
Wow.
But maybe not. They might just you chuck money at it. It normally works. So
I just can't even bear to. Honestly, people would think, well, because you played for Chelsea for so long, you'd want Spurs to be relegated. I can't imagine them not being in the Premier League. I think there'll be a novelty for about 3 weeks, and then everyone will go, oh, actually, can we have them back? Because it's they're a great club. They're the stadium, the rivalries, but. Football doesn't work like that, and it's you get what you deserve. B.
You get what you deserve, B, and there's the title of the show. That was great, Graeme. I really enjoyed it.
Good, I did as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, head over to machinefootball.com for fascinating insights.
Yeah,
but just not much about Torquay.
None about to eat yet, Graeme.
Yet to be continued.
When you're sponsoring matches at Plainmoor next season, it's going to be unbelievable.
There you go. We're in.
What you need to do, use Torquay United as your test case and get them up through the leagues.
I'm up for that conversation. That'd be good. As long as the fans are behind us, because...
Oh, the fans are the best in the world.
Brilliant.
Up the goals.
Let's visit Torquay.